of English. So if they finish primary school, they can speak English fluently. They can write.
Yeah, but as I said that,
like
generally speaking, yes. But of course, there are students who have, for instance, learning difficulties, and it's quite possible there are few students who really can't. So they will be offered the same education, same tuition. But then, of course, children are different. Some children learn more quickly, and then some don't. So this is very difficult. Very difficult.
Okay, I see.
But if you think about basic education, so I'm at all these and 2 or 3. Yeah, something like that. And again, I write here basic education.
Okay, I see.
You're
right. All of
sorry about
so
that.
we are focused on this one,
Yes, we are talking about basic education.
And
it means grades 1 to 9.
1 to 9.
Yes.
Maybe.
So if I write so 7, so 16 is age. Okay, aged. Okay, and where have you mostly learned your English? So if you again think about generally Finnish people, so most they learn at school. At school most, but of course again there are.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Where did you use English the most? At school or by free time, work?
If you are adult, Now it's again difficult. Of course, there are so many adults who need English at work, and I think that very many people have to use English at work nowadays, more and more. And of course, so for instance, I think about those teacher applicants who have applied for a job in my school. Of course, they have studied almost everything in English. So at school and studies and at work. But then there are people who do not use. So
forget it.
Or then those 1 and 3. So very common.
How important is
think about Finnish people again generally. So it is very important because our language is. We have such a small country and nobody understands Finnish. I think that's one reason, because nobody understands Finnish. We have to study foreign languages, and of course English is the most important foreign language for us to learn.
Okay. When can people be fluent in speaking English? It means that Finnish people generally they can be fluent. The age or
I go back to this basic education. So for the 9th graders in Finnish schools, they know a lot.
Age is like
15, 16.
16, right?
Yes. Do you agree that generally speaking people in your country can speak English well?
Yeah.
I must say, because every time I meet foreigners, they are very amazed, surprised that how is it possible that anywhere in the streets or at the bus stop even, so if they ask questions, so most Finnish people can answer in English. But again, for its old people, the education system has changed. So think about, for instance, my mother. My mother used to study German at school, but she couldn't speak English a little, but better German than English. So do you agree that generally speaking people in your country can speak? Yeah, I must say that that's. I agree. Yes, yes. I think that's quite right. Someone who is good at English means.
Good at English means speaking or listening or reading skills, writing skills.
I think that all those listening, speaking, reading and writing. All are important. Otherwise, you are not fluent if you can't read and write and speak and listen.
This is the most difficult case for you, I think.
Okay.
It will be how much emphasis do you put on each of the 4 language skills on average when learning English? Rank them from 1 to 4. So, listening, speaking, reading, writing. They are all important.
I wouldn't like to mark. I think they are all. And from the start, think about those teachers who are teaching our 3rd graders. So they are all at the start. Everything is, of course, writing is then not so much at the beginning, and reading, but listening and speaking, they are the first when they start. Yeah,
this is the first.
But all are important. All are important. Yes.
So why do you think this is very important for the first time they learn English? Why? Even though this is all of things are important.
Because language is a communication medium. Right. Yeah, so that's why. Of course, you can't communicate if you only can read in English or if you can write in English. So then, if you can't say anything to somebody who speaks English, so when communication skills are important from the start.
When the people they learn English, you mean to communicate, they first learn speaking and listening, and then they go to school gradually. They learning reading and writing, right?
Yes, and actually at the same time.
They
then first they may write only my name is very short sentence. They say it and they also learn how to write it. But then gradually when they learn more and more, so then it gets more complicated. But all these are very, very important. And as I said, so maybe 30 years ago, our language teachers, they taught more reading and writing, not so much listening and speaking. And now it's evident that these are really important from the start.
Actually, we are ending of this traveling, so we just want to find out how difficult it is learning English in our countries. Even though, as I told you, we spend a lot of time and money, so especially the skill of listening and speaking is quite difficult for us. So you told us teacher is very important, and materials and system, and all of things is very important. But we wanna find out the solution of. So that is the maybe I think that is the we are focused on that. Because you are overcome how to learn English very well, but we are still giving our sacrifice and giving our we are suffering about the speaking and listening. We are suffering, our Korean people and students. So we are ending of this travel. So still we have questions, many questions. Actually, Scandinavian people, we know that they can speak English very well, and Australia, and many people they can speak English because of their mother tongue. But as a foreign language, you speak Finnish, okay? You speak Finnish and Danish and Swedish. As a foreign language, you can do that, but it's similar to English. You can speak English well. It's quite, what I'm saying, it's quite, it can be our solution because you are different. So you are good at English, it's totally different our situation. So it means that we can't follow your system, even though you speak, teachers are very important, and system is very important. All things is very important.
And small groups, if you think about language teaching, because it's very important that there are not too many students, because then every teacher, of course, she or he has to give an opportunity to every single student to answer and to speak. So small groups, if you have 30 or 40 students, then it's impossible for a teacher to teach students to speak because they don't have so much opportunity to use the language. Yeah.
So it means that for the foreigner, even though Korean people, we make small groups.
It is important.
Small groups,
yes.
and then we try to speak. If the teacher try to speak to a student, they can listen and speak English first, and then gradually they can read and write all together. Okay.
And then of course the thing about if the teachers, because the teacher's home language is not English, so we use CDs, and so then it's important for students in Finnish schools, they listen to a native speaker. It's really important they listen to a native speaker, because the Finnish teacher so speaks in different ways certainly, so compared to a native speaker. So then, for instance, even years and years and years ago, so 20 years ago already, so for instance we have in Finnish schools English language textbook, workbook and DVDs or CDs, so then even at home when the student has to do his or her homework, so sure he can listen and to a native speaker. It's very important that they, from the start, they listen to a native speaker.
Okay, as I told you, to travel, this is...
you have been really in many countries.
Yes, but really we are confusing. We are confusing because when we went to Finland, when we went to Denmark, when we went to Switzerland, we just think about how good scenery is. But when we come to here in Finland, we just focus on the similarities, Korean and Finnish. So, if we come here, we just find out how you overcome learning English well. So we just want to know the conditions is the same in Korean
and of course I don't know any Korean, so that's why it's very difficult for me to think about these similarities, because I don't know anything about. Of course I know that writing system is different and this sentence structure, but they are really Finnish language and Korean language are really different kind of languages, really different kind of languages.
So how do you say to Korean people when they learning English, especially speaking and listening part? So how do you emphasize to the people who learning English in Korean? Advice.
So I think the teacher should have an answer. Yeah. So I think that I'm repeating myself.
Okay, I see.
It's anyway. So these are maybe not questions. So I'm the right person to answer. Should be a linguistic who would know your language and very well your language and your system and writing and then this comparison, because I don't know anything about Korean language, so very difficult for me to answer. What I can really tell is like those methodology and pedagogy what we use, and then in this school everything is different because English is many students' home language and many teachers as well.
Okay, 혹시 이사님 더?
다른 것.
Yeah,
time's up.
Yeah. So okay, right. I'm sorry about because this was you understood that it was.
Okay, it's enough. It's enough.
It depends. It really depends on